Hey everybody, Steve here from The Varied Life, and we're going to do a Gundam ATST paint job. So let's hang on to your hats and get started on this new series. So we're finishing up with the Necromancer cloak with the matte black, and I think that's doable. We might have to come back and do a little bit of work with that. But now, that center stripe, yeah, I'm going to throw some green in there, specifically some army green. Like I said, we're going to use some army green, but it's a little bit too green, so what we're going to end up doing is we're going to use a little bit of the black over here and kind of darken that up. And I think that'll work out well. Kind of a darker color, get a little bit of a contrast. And once we get that, we've got a little bit of a dry brush here, which I'm learning how to do dry brushing. So be gentle with me. Just kind of blot it. And just kind of drag it across there to see how well it goes. In all honesty, I probably could have just brushed that with a regular brush, but you know, at the time I was like, hey, let's do some dry brushing. So we'll just continue on. So there it is. I think it turned out well. Wasn't really dry brushing. No. Like I said, I could have used a regular paintbrush. But now what we're going to end up doing is we're going to get some of this. It's either going to be the desert yellow or this Alderon sunset, whatever it's called, to get a little bit of the details, kind of the little intricate lines that are on that piece of stone that's kind of colored green, as we can see there. So we're just going to take our time and just kind of go over that, kind of add some little bit of color on there. And as we continue to do this, we'll add another coat to kind of really get the colors to pop out. And this is a great exercise for brush control. And again, there we go. We're just kind of putting some more coats on there to highlight that. And now here, this would be more like dry brushing. So I've got a little bit of paint on there, and those little intricate lines, we're just getting the raised surface areas of those. So maybe I'm dry brushing with a regular brush. So we're just going to go ahead and fast forward and do all that. And I think that turned out pretty well. I like the result that we got. And instead of having to try to paint every single line, the little bit of regular paintbrush, dry brush technique worked out well, I think. Yeah, not bad. That's what I was looking for in that. So now, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to get some of this red in here from Citadel. And of course we got to mix that up. It's been a long time since I used that stuff. And we'll add some of that to the wet palette. Now you might be wondering, what is going to be red? Well, we're going to do some red, and there are some bricks on this base that need painting, and I think that red will make a good contrast color, so they'll really stick out. You can see I did a little practice there, but realized I wanted it a little bit darker. So I mixed in some black, and there you can see we get kind of more of a realistic red brick color. And that seems to be going on well. And it'll break up a lot of that gray area that we have on those pavers. Kind of draw your eye to a few different places. I think that's going to work out well. A little bit of brush control, trying to improve that. Do a couple of coats. And I think that color comes out pretty good. I like that. So there you have it. And we go through the fast forward and we do the rest of the bricks. And it works out well. not bad. I think it breaks up some of the monotony of all the gray, and there you can see it. Yeah, I think that worked out good. We're going to go back to some green because we forgot some areas and that center stripe. So we're just going to use a regular brush on there, and then we'll go back and just finish up the little detail areas and get the sides and some more of those, the little things that kind of stick out. And again, that's the little things in life that matter, that ties all this in together, if there's gaps of black and everything. Now we're going to use the gunmetal, and that's going to go on some of these steel girders. So we're going to mix this up real good. And again, put this on the wet palette. And I really like this color because of the shine and the sheen that you get from this. It is really a really good color. So we're going to go ahead and we'll dip in a little bit. We can take a look and you can see, yeah, that is an awesome color. That gunmetal color is awesome. And I think that's really going to help with this base. Again, it's going to take out, and once we do this, put in the gunmetal on these metal pieces, these steel girders, then we'll go through and we'll put a little bit of rust and a little bit of wear on there, and that'll really help with the base and standing out. There we go. Doesn't that look good? I like that. I like that a lot. And we even got the little pieces of rebar. We colored those in. Again, just the little things. And now we're going to go to some brown. Since I had some leftover brown that was on the wet palette, I figured, you know what? Let's just use some of that up. And we'll just get on that pile of rubble and dirt. And I think the gray from the brick, that'll tie it in pretty well. Kind of a lot of earthen colors. And I think that'll be really good. So we've got the green, the yellow, the reds, the brown, real earth tone colors. And we'll hit the rest of the model here. Okay, we're finishing up our little bit of dirt there. And I think that turned out nice. It's all coming together. All these different colors and textures. Now we're going to use a little bit of a color here. You might be wondering, what is that going to be used on? Well, there's a very special thing for that, and that's going to be the Aquila. So we're zoomed in here, and we're just kind of try to be as careful as we can and just let the paint do the work as it slides into all those recesses. It is really a bright color, but I love that color. It gives that sheen. It's just really, really cool. I'm really actually glad they had that Aquila down there. It's just another thing to where it draws your eye to an additional detail instead of just a boring dry base with dirt and, one or two things. There's a lot of things that come into play, and this is my favorite base. I've got these in 32 millimeter, and of course this one, which the diameter is like 4.7 inches. But yeah, this looks good. I spilled a little bit on there, so I took a brush, put a little bit of water on it, and then was able to suck up that paint. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it. You could always paint back over, but I figured, you can clean it up that way. You don't have to go back and do more gray. So yeah, I think the Aquila is pretty cool. I'm glad it's part of this base. Finish out these little details. Trying not to shake so much. And for the most part, that looks kind of good. Now we're going to take this, and I wanted a different color from the Aquila for these shell casings. So these look like brass shell casings, so I wanted a different color. I didn't want to use the same color like we did on the Aquila. And again, it's a small detail, but you know, it makes a difference. Okay, we're finishing up a little bit of the details on the brass casings, and we're getting close to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video series and painting and all I'm getting to learn and practice, you could buy me a coffee. Look in the description box down below. And of course, if you want to follow up, like and subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate that as well. So see you on the next video. Peace. Okay, so that's going to be it for today. We're going to continue on and finish up a little bit of details here. Be sure to stand by for the next video and see what happens next. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to stay up to date with what's going on with us. The Buried Life, as we're retired in Korea. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.